Finally, the class elected Dr. Jared Gardner to address them this evening in the faculty charge. And I would like to just say that there is a misprint in the program. I want to clear this up. Dr. Gardner is a pathologist, not an internist, so I wanted to make sure that we didn't perpetrate that mistake. Dr. Gardner, please come to the podium.
Thank you, Dr. Wheeler, for clearing that up. I was worried I'd have to take call. It's a good crowd tonight. Okay, we're off to a good start. Dr. Wheeler, can you load up my PowerPoint? It's only 150 slides long, guys. Don't inside joke. Maybe it's too fresh. I don't know. And oh wait, what's this? You know I have to do this, right? It's just proper decorum. I am truly honored to be here tonight and that you chose me to give you the faculty charge, despite your better judgment, probably. And, you know, I was actually supposed to be on a flight to Spain right now, but, true story. But when I heard that you had selected me to speak to you, I rescheduled my trip and I'm leaving tomorrow instead. And while I want you to laugh and also pity me a little bit, it shows that that's how much I love the class of 2017, that I would give up an extra day in Spain to be here with all of you. Just let that sink in and think about all the implications. This is too easy. In all honesty, though, it has been such an incredible pleasure to work with all of you. You were the first class for which I was a module co-director, and you made that a wonderful and easy experience. I wouldn't miss tonight for the world. So you finally made it, right? 4 years, here we are. You get your degree tomorrow and you get to go home after all that hard work and toil and relax for the rest of your life. Yeah. Boy, I hope that no one told you that's how it's going to be. Because you're about to embark on an incredible journey, one that is going to have more incredible highs than you've ever had before, more epic wins. And you're also going to have challenges and struggles that are harder than you probably could have imagined. It's the good with the bad. Medicine is a hard road to walk, but it can be so worth it. And, you know, how do you make it worth it? How do you make your career worthwhile? How do you know that your career is worthwhile? I think you should start your career by thinking about the end of your career. That got dark and depressing really fast. But I'm serious. I think about the end of my career every day, and it informs the decisions that I make, how I choose to spend my time, what opportunities I accept and which ones I decline, what I invest my energy and my effort in the 24 hours I'm given every day. Because over your life, your career is a bunch of mundane, everyday decisions added up over 40 years. The decisions you make each day, cumulatively, that is your career. So start thinking now about what is going to make it meaningful. How will you know that it's worthwhile, that it mattered, that you had the impact that you wanted to have when you're 65 or 70 years old and you retire and you look back over the decades of practice, the hard work, the blood, sweat, and tears that you have poured into medical practice? How will you know it's worth it? That's a personal decision and a personal question. I can't tell you how you'll know. I mean, is how much money you have in your bank account, how many books or papers you've written, how long your CV is, if you have a building named after you or a Nobel Prize or two. I mean, you know, don't stop at one. But is all that stuff going to make it worthwhile? Maybe for you, but for me, I don't think so. I think I need something more than that. So there are 3 things that I've boiled it down to for me that matter, that I have to accomplish to be satisfied with my career. My family, my patients, and my students. If I can look back decades from now when I retire and look over all of the years and say, you know, I did my very best to care for my patients the best that I could, to mentor and teach and guide my students as best that I could, and to love and cherish my wife and kids and not neglect them despite the pressures of medicine and medical practice. If I can say that, man, you're winning the game in my book, if I can say that. That's a career worthwhile for me. What will you say that will make your career worthwhile? Start thinking about it today and every day after, and that is how you will get a career that's worthwhile at the end. Let's talk about family. Here they are, right? These people raised you, They bought you things you needed. They made opportunities for you. They sacrificed for you. Do not ever neglect them. Do not lose these relationships because they will keep you afloat when your world seems to be falling apart on hard days. When you wonder where you are in your career and where you should go, these are the people that will be your bedrock. And I like to, say my wife's a psychiatrist, and so I usually use her as a prop for jokes. There are a couple psychiatrists up here. I apologize in advance. And it's okay to laugh because my wife has given me permission to do this, and so there's no HIPAA violation. We have informed consent. It's good. It's been a while since there'd been a laugh, so we had to work on it. And I have 3 beautiful daughters, ages 4, 3, and 1. So I have all the risk factors for physician burnout just in my home. But my family and friends and the people that are dear to me, they actually make me feel less burned out, despite all the stress and the sleeplessness of having 3 young kids and work and everything else. It's, when you go home and play with your kids and they run up to you and give you a hug, it reminds you that even in a really tough day, there's joy and hope in the world still. My wife, she loves me no matter how many PowerPoint slides I have in a lecture. And she also helps me realize the need for balance in my life. If it weren't for her, I've resented her in the past for why she's telling me I have to have balance. I can do all. Well, no, she's right, actually, after all. It just took me a few years of sleeplessness and to see that. But really, she helped me realize the need to seek balance. I don't know that I'll ever achieve it or find it, but I recognize now that it's important to have balance between my family and my personal life and my medical career. I don't know the answer to how you find that, but I think it's striving for it every day as part of the process of getting close enough to it to make it work. I also like to rock the boat a little bit, as you all probably know, and my wife's job is to keep me from capsizing the boat. Find those people in your life who will keep you from capsizing the boat. They will save your career, hopefully. It's easy to pour all your time into your work because you see the results right away. You see the paper published, the promotion, the extra paycheck, whatever it is. Investing time in relationships is harder because you don't know if it works or not. You don't know how bad it would have been if you wouldn't have paid that time in. And so it's easy to take for granted the relationships, to imagine that they'll grow and flourish on their own with no efforts. But that's not true. I'm not saying that you won't have to sacrifice and that your family won't have to sacrifice. You will. You will miss ballet recitals and soccer games and plays and other things, and your family will do their best to be understanding of that. Try to understand it. It's hard on the outside to get why we do this. Mentally you can get it, but emotionally it doesn't feel fair to see these people spend all their time in the hospital. But they do it because they love the sick people that need their help. And I think that's something to be proud of. What you can do is, in the times you're with your family, do everything you can to pour into those relationships and to make them worthwhile. People say that good communication is the key to relationships. You didn't realize you were getting a marriage seminar tonight, but it's a free bonus, free of charge. I honestly think that something more important is that you show gratefulness for the people in your life. And it's not just about changing the way they feel about you by telling them all the things you're thankful for that they've done. It changes you when you become grateful, when you see past the flaws and the faults of the people around you and recognize all that they do behind the scenes to make your life possible. Be grateful. My wife suggested that I, at a time where I was not quite so grateful, maybe practice writing down the things I was grateful for and sending them in an email each day. I've not told very many people this story. It's kind of embarrassing because it sounds stupid, right? I mean, that doesn't seem very smart. It changed the way I think of my wife. It changed my attitude. It changed our marriage. It changed my life. Be grateful. It will change your life. A career that is successful in every way but loses the people that I love most is not worth it to me. I don't think it'll be worth it to you either, because when I look through this book, every single one of you starts with, I want to thank my family, I want to thank my parents, I want to thank my wife, I want to thank my husband. Family matters. Don't sacrifice them, not even for your career. My patients, it seems trite to mention patient care. I mean, you guys have been hearing this for 4 years, right? Yes, we're going to take care of patients. That's why we came to med school. Well, it's easy to focus on that ideal when you're students, when you're in the protected, safe walls of med school. I know it doesn't seem safe when you're in med school. It seems hard. Just think back in a year or so and you'll understand what I mean. When you're out in the real world, things are more gray and more difficult, and you will find that there are patients that challenge you. You will find that there are administrators that challenge you, and insurance companies, and lawmakers, and every possible thing you can imagine that will try to stand in the way of you putting your patient's needs as the most paramount thing that you do every day as a physician. And the day that I come to the hospital and cannot put my patient first and care for them like I would my wife or my kids, I don't have a right to call myself a physician. I don't have a right to practice medicine if I can't practice it that way. At least in my book, that's what matters. And tonight, you will take, again, that oath where the holiest and most sacred thing as physicians that we believe is that we do no harm and that we do good and we do right by our patients. We don't sacrifice their needs just because we want to make more money or because it's easier or because we're tired or because of any of those things. We do whatever it takes to do right by the patient. Hold to that, and it will make your career easier. It will make the hard days easier. It will make it easier to jump through the hoops and take the USMLE exams and do all of the hard, frustrating things you're going to have to do. Because when you realize at the end of the day you're helping someone on the worst day of their life, you're helping them and their family deal with it, you'll realize it matters. And you're going to lose patients. You're going to have patients that are not curable, that are going to die, and you're going to have hard days, and that's not going to get easier. But don't make the mistake of thinking that cure and healing are always the same thing. Cure whenever you can, but heal always. Be innovative. Pursue new ways to add value to your patients' lives and to add healing to them and their families outside the boundaries of what we've discovered. I am a pathologist. I diagnose cancer, but I don't treat it. It's easy for me to think, well, I don't have the ability to heal anyone, but I started volunteering in rare cancer Facebook patient support groups, answering questions, helping patients to navigate their relationship with their doctor, telling the stories of these patients to rooms of doctors and medical students to change the way that my colleagues think about rare disease. And these patients, many of them have told me that that to them is therapeutic and healing, to know that their loved one who died, that story is helping change the way that doctors think about their disease in the future, that brings them some relief to know that at least some good will come from this. Think outside the box. Every good innovation in history has been someone who thought outside the box and everyone else said, that's crazy, that'll never work. Heal whenever you can. And finally, students and residents and fellows and all of the physician colleagues I have around the world who have given me the privilege of being able to teach and educate them. Look around the room at all these people who have taken time to educate you. It's not for the fame and the glory. It's not for the money, guys. We do it because we want to play a role in helping you find happy, satisfying careers for you and helping you heal your patients in the future. And if I can invest some time now so that way down the road, one of your patients will have a better life, that's a worthwhile use of my time. I also teach because of all of the educators and mentors that have poured so much into my life and made me the pathologist, the physician, the educator, and the man that I am today, who taught me to lead, who taught me to leave the field better than I found it, and to open doors and make opportunities just like they did for me. And it was only years later looking back that I realized that some of the things that, man, I thought I have that interview in the bag and that position's no problem. And then I found out one of my professors had actually made a call and they were not going to select me. But because of the word of one of my mentors, I got a position that changed my career. And those things have happened multiple times now. Mentors matter. And there's a quote, I don't know where it first came from, but I love it. It resonates very deeply with me. You can never pay back your mentors. You can only pay them forward. My mentors need nothing from me. They are at the pinnacle of their field. But if I can open doors and opportunities for you, if I can help colleagues on the other side of the world who live in Iraq and Syria and Afghanistan and still have to practice medicine there with all of the problems that entails, if I can help them and give them opportunities and privilege like I've been given in my practice here, that's time well spent. That's a career well spent. Figure out what really matters to you in the long run, and then use that knowledge every day to decide how you are going to spend each day and what you're going to make your career into. Just like parents, we've had you for a short time only, but now you're grown, leaving home and going out into the wide world. But this will always be your home, and UAMS will be part of your origin story, medical superheroes that you are. And I speak for myself and no one else here, but after today, don't call me Dr. Gardner anymore. Call me Jared, because you're not students anymore. You are doctors now, You are colleagues now. Go forth and change the world, one patient life at a time. Go forth and heal. Thank you.